Thank you Village Crafting Candle for sending me your candle making starter kit. For $84, you can make 6 candles. That comes out to $14 per candle. Plus you'll have some wax left over for another candle or potentially a refill, and a pouring pitcher for your next project. This kit is great for a fun DIY activity, or if you want to make some personalized gifts for friends and family, or if you want to potentially start a small candle business. Eventually I want to add a luxury candle line or a larger candle to my assortment, so this starter kit gave me the perfect opportunity to experiment with new jars. I'll have to see what the cost comes out to for one of these candles if I buy everything in bulk, but so far they're really nice. I love the way they look and feel, and I might just consider them for my small business. I'm not sold on the lids though, they're a little difficult to open and close, but based on their reviews, I believe they fixed the issue for future orders. This is me looking for the wick stickers. They were missing, but probably a one-off mistake. Not a big deal for me because I purchased them in bulk. I like to add the warning labels first. Then I clean the jars with alcohol. I use this wick setting tool, but you can use a straw or just press it down with anything long. They recommend 15 milliliters of oil for every 250 milliliters of melted wax. That's a 6% fragrance load, which is the percentage of fragrance in relation to the amount of wax you use, so you'll be able to make 2 candles with each bottle in this kit. The first step is to measure out 1 cup of wax. I believe they mean 1 cup of melted wax. That's equivalent to 250 milliliters, which is what they recommend in their candle making tips. I pulled out a measuring cup just to show you that 1 cup of wax in solid form, once melted, is not a full cup. I learned how to make candles by measuring everything in weight, not volume, especially because fragrance oils have different densities, and the wax I use comes in solid form. If you have a scale, here's how I measured out how much wax to melt based on the recommended capacity for these jars. A scale isn't listed under recommended equipment, and I can understand why, because this is a starter kit and they probably want to simplify the process. I just think a little more clarity on how to accurately measure the wax out of the bag would be helpful. I'm going to use 244 grams of wax per candle. I'm making 2, so that's 488 grams of wax, and I'll melt it in a double boiler. I followed the instructions on the packaging from the manufacturer, so I'll heat the wax to 72 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I poured in 30 grams of fragrance oil because we're making 2 candles. There was a small amount left in the bottle, but it's not really enough to make anything else, so I poured the rest in. In total, I added 36 grams of fragrance oil, so that works out to about a 7% fragrance load based on the amount of wax I added. Stir slowly for 1 minute, then pour them into the 2 jars. I center the wick with 2 chopsticks. Repeat this step 2 more times with each fragrance oil, and then you'll have 6 beautiful candles. If you want to elevate your candles, you can buy molds and add shapes. I wanted to add hearts and espresso beans. You wouldn't necessarily have pillar wax for these molds at home, so I tried making them with Freedom soy wax that comes in the kit. I'll show you how they turned out later in the video. I also tried melting this wax in the microwave. Don't use the metal pour pot in the microwave. I used a glass measuring cup and melted it down in 30-second intervals. When the wax is almost fully melted and it looks a bit translucent, I microwaved it in 10-second intervals because it gets hot really quick, just to avoid overheating the wax. These are the hearts I made with Freedom soy wax. There's some frosting, and if you don't mind this look, it does work. I tried to heat the top to remove some of the frosting, but I ended up ruining it, so I remade these hearts with pillar wax. These labels are from Avery, number 94237. I use Canva for all my labels, so here's a super quick tutorial. You can browse through their design library for candle labels and select one that you like. You can adjust the font, colors, and placement to create your own unique design. To print, download the label from Canva, then upload it to Avery's design and print template. I wanted to create some new labels for a future candle line, so I played around with some fonts. The great thing about kits from a candle supplier is that they're using quality materials sourced specifically for candle makers, and it saves you time and effort searching for all the individual items. Hopefully this candle burns clean and evenly. Wick testing for candle makers can be time consuming, so it's nice to have the recommended wick, wax, and jar put together in one package. The kit recommends burning the candle until the melt pool reaches the container walls, and many companies do as well. But sometimes I found through my own testing that a full melt pool after the first burn may not necessarily mean a larger wick size is needed. As long as it doesn't look like it's tunneling, the hang-up of wax on the edges may melt down in subsequent burns, and the candle will burn hotter further down the jar. The sun throw after 5 days is pretty good. I moved it into a smaller room, like my bathroom, and the hot throw was strong, but obviously in my larger bedroom, it was more of a lighter throw. I'll test the other candles after 2 weeks for a better review on the hot throw. I did test this wax last month with a fragrance oil in Village Crafting Candles Explore Kit, and after 2 weeks it produced a pretty impressive hot throw for a single wick candle. When I tested this wax earlier in my candle making journey, some fragrances didn't produce a strong hot throw, so it also depends on the fragrance oil you use. Some just work better with soy wax than others. Overall, this is a great kit to make some high quality candles, and I definitely recommend this to anybody who wants to try out candle making as a hobby or potentially for a small business.